I'm standing here in my kitchen. I got my doors flung wide open and everything as you close them. It's such a mess in here. And I'm cooking some chicken and rice for dinner. But I was thinking about something. About an article I was reading. I didn't read the whole article. I was looking at it on the internet. So I sort of basically, every time I run into a really interesting article, but I know when I'm at work I don't have a lot of time to read it, I'll just like email it to myself so I can read it later, when I get home. So I'm going to finish reading it, but it was a thing that some scientist was talking about, that it takes as much faith, that science requires faith too, And I was thinking about that because I know a lot of people have been really upset over that article. It's like a lot of controversy. But I think what the guy said is true, It does take faith. Science requires a degree of faith. And what faith means is you just trust something that you don't, you go as far as you can go. See, I actually realized that what this guy said reminded me of something that I remember reading Einstein saying. The same thing, basically, but with different words. But it wasn't as controversial back then. For some reason, it just didn't... nowadays, with everybody trying to be anti-religious, whenever you use the word faith, it's like, forget it. You can't say that. Faith just means you just trust that something's going to happen a certain way. You put a pot of water on, turn on a flame. Now, people can say, oh, I know it's going to boil. No, you have faith it's going to boil. And if the only thing I'm going to say is, because I don't want to argue with people, don't, because I'm not arguing. Just go read David Hume. Seriously. Hume's argument. So he's already done the argument 200 years ago. How you really don't know. You don't know future events, as Einstein said. You do not know future events. You cannot know. You may believe something's going to happen in the future. You may feel quite certain. You may feel extremely confident, but you just don't know. The only time you know is when you're actually experiencing it. You can only know something at this moment. We may speculate about something happening in the future. We believe it's going to happen in the future. We feel quite certain. We've done a lot of research on it. We have everything in the world except knowledge, because knowledge has to be based on experience. And when you are seeing it happening, that is your knowledge. But that's okay. Remember also Einstein's famous quote, imagination is more important than knowledge. You don't have to know. You can trust in the ideal. You can trust in the theory, in the projection that that's going to happen. You can trust it. You can rest assured. Do you trust the universe? Do you have faith that the universe will continue to operate the same way today that it operated yesterday? And it's going to operate the same way tomorrow that it's been operating today. Today, when I take an object like this and I release it, it will fall. Okay? Tomorrow, when I do that, tomorrow morning when I get up, I'm going to do that. Just before I make my coffee, I promise I'm not going to videotape it, but I will drop something and see if it falls. I feel confident that that will happen tomorrow. It's not happening right now. A year from now, if I think to do this, which I probably won't, if I release the same object, it will fall a year from now, assuming I'm still here. Because I could get run over by a truck or something. Maybe I'll be so rich I'll hire people to drop things for me. So whatever, I won't be doing no video. I just have my production crew. I have a movie, a full motion picture, directed by Martin Scorsese. The Drop. Starring Denzel Washington playing me. Okay. Now, I want you to know that we're going to drop this thing, and here it goes. Leonardo DiCaprio is the investigator, investigating the dropping of the object. Okay, yes. And it'll be in 3D, so you put on your 3D glasses. Anyway, all that aside, yeah, you believe that these things will happen in the future. You can only know the future through thought. And what do you do with a thought? You think of something and you might believe it or you might doubt it. I doubt that's going to happen. Like, for example, if I take a sheet of paper and I tell you that I'm going to take this sheet of paper and put it into a fire, in the fireplace. And when it's in that fireplace for about 15 minutes, I'm going to reach in that fire and grab that paper out, and it's going to be in perfect shape. It's going to be in pristine shape. You might doubt that. You have doubts. You either believe what I say, which is faith, or you doubt it. But you don't know until I put it in there. But you're pretty confident that once I put it in there, it's going to be burned up. It's going to be consumed in the fire. So, yeah, there is a faith in the rules, a faith in the laws of nature. And it's not such a terrible thing. I think people become so anti-religious that as soon as you say the word faith, forget it. People can't see a non-religious connection to the word faith. It's just trust. That's all it means. Just trust. It's like you have faith in your friend. You send your friend out to go get a 6-pack of beer. You give him $10, and you say, "All right, get some beer and bring back the change." You have faith that your friend's going to do it. Of course, he might not do it. He may take your $10, book a flight to Mexico, go away, take your 6-pack of Coronas. Although he could buy them a lot cheaper in Mexico, he'd go and take a flight, spend like $400 or $500 on a flight just to keep your $10. That could happen. Okay, things like that can happen. I'm just being silly because I think people take things too serious on YouTube. People just get so, oh God, you can't even say faith without it sparking a religious debate. And I think that's what happened to scientists. You can't say it, but Einstein said it, and it's like that went totally under the radar. Nobody paid attention. Because then the atmosphere wasn't as volatile as it is now. There's such this volatile, anti-religious thing. And my goodness. That's why if I had known that, I would never have said anything about religion when I first got on YouTube. If you want to have your videos, looked at, don't say anything about religion.